Well, hello and welcome to another Tyrrell's Classic Workshop. It's time for one of those workshop catch-ups, and I think it's time we dropped the Ketchup moniker. Please give your comments on that, but various people have said, we're sick of the workshop catch-ups, not the content, but the expression. So there we are. Do we keep the workshop ketchup, or do we lose the ketchup and become a catch-up? Over to you. Anyway, this is the Ford Mondeo ST220 engine. We're doing a massive restoration on the whole car. It's away at Cheshire Prestige Paintworks at the moment at Ryan's, and he is doing an amazing job on the bodywork. He's preparing the underneath of the car to dare I say, a higher standard than when it left the factory, which is, I mean, they were very good and fit for purpose, but we want something that is better than that. This is the engine which actually is in beautiful internal condition. It was running fabulously before we did anything to the car, but it certainly didn't look that pretty. So it does now. This has come up stunningly well. Air conditioning, new air conditioning compressor. Various parts have been blasted and replated, or whatever. We've used various different disciplines on this, actually. Blasting and painting, plating. It would originally have been cadmium, which is a yellow finish, which is actually illegal in the UK now. So we have to go what's called yellow zinc plating. So it's galvanizing, and then a yellow tint is electrostatically applied over the top of that, or whatever the expression is. So we're using a variety of different things, but this is really looking very bonny now. I'm very, very happy with the way this has come on. Similarly, the front subframe here, that is all the original components which have been blasted, carefully repainted. We're not powder coating, we're using original paint finishes. That is looking fabulous and is ready to go back on the car. So this project is actually going to take a wriggle on now. Once it comes back, we'll really be able to crack into this. We've been buying lots of parts, restoring parts offline as well, so that timeline-wise, when the car comes back, it'll be all of a piece. As I was just mentioning, we have various bits that are being restored offline. We've got some bits that have been re-enameled. This is an engine mounting which has been beautifully redone. Shock absorber and spring units, new old stock. So these are genuine Ford parts that have been obtained. Even the brake back plates look lovely. It is going to be quite the car, this. Yeah, hubs. So it's coming on very nicely. We're all delighted with the way this project is turning out. It's the most bizarre concept, restoring a car of this market value, but it is sentimental reasons, and who can blame the owner for that? These are the exhaust heat shields, which we've managed to preserve as well. We can do something with these to zhuzh them up a bit and get them back to as they were. But nothing is escaping our attention. We really are going to town on this, because that's the brief. It's about time we had one of the younger members of our team here, in spirit, Tom.
Thank you. Made by day.
You've been working on the Aston Martin DB24 seat runners, and we've gone to quite a lot of trouble. These are dry, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Yeah, that is the end result, and we've chosen the colour to match the original based on various references.
We were very lucky. We found one can of just about the right colour, which Craig and I have secreted away so nobody can nick it and do it on another job.
So none of our competitors can walk in and steal it?
Basically, no other member of staff can nick it.
Okay, well, this is the limit. This is the limiter on the seat runner, and you're doing some. This is a BSF thread.
They're all BSF threads. So I've used coach bolts, cut the thread right down, because the thread to start with is very close to a metric thread, but the BSF started on it, then ran the thread all the way down the shank, and cut them to length.
Right. So a British standard fine, of course,
yep,
which hasn't been around for a very, very long time. 60s, I would say, was the last time. It was 1960s.
I've got an engine that was built in the 40s that had BSF, and I thought they would have stopped using BSF in about the 50s.
Right, and Whitworth as well. That was the thread that fizzled out as well.
But the finest thread. It is the best thread.
Well, there's an amazing. You've got AF, American Fine. You've got BSF,
British Standard Fine.
Yes.
You've got UNF, which is United.
Yes. United National Fine. UNC, United National Course. You've got metric with different pitches.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
BA.
BA, exactly. Yes.
For the smaller stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So that's great. So you've done some adapting there. So even seat runners here come in for some scrutiny and love and attention.
They were in fairly parlous condition when I got them. They've had to be cleaned right back, and then obviously primed and top coated, lubricated, and then put back together to make work. But they were fairly knackered, and the stops initially were just BSF bolts, which they just shoved some rather crude BSF bolts.
Right.
Screws to be more exact in them, which doesn't look very pretty, so hence my idea for that.
Well, that looks beautiful. Tom, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Iain.
Well, here we are in Craig's Corner again. I don't think this needs any introduction, really. This is the seat of the Aston Martin DB Mark III.
Yes.
And this is finished in Connolly champagne leather.
Yes.
And you've hand-made the whole thing, haven't you,
yes.
basically?
Yeah. What happened with this is I trimmed to be honest, it's still the squab's still settling because I trimmed it once, and then we found out that these sort of fixings here for the squab, they were bent. This one was bent that way, so we thought, we'll sort that out, which we thought we did. Put it back on, and no, it was bent that way as well. So we then had to untrim it and then sort that out, which we have done now. So, but it was never going to line up. It was just all over the place, and it's a weird shape as well.
It is.
Yeah, and then it does that, you see, to the centre.
It cocks over to one side, matron.
If you look, and the other one goes there, and it's sort of So
the only other car I've ever seen that on is the Triumph Stag, of all things. They used to do that.
Yes,
just to help people get in the back of the car.
Yeah.
But okay, and we think the reason that the frame was bent was because this car's got a competition history.
Yes,
and somebody was driving it in anger and actually bent the seat through the G-forces in the corners.
Yeah. But so it was quite crazy. Yes, yeah.
And it looks pretty.
Yes, it's
down.
Yes, yeah. So the foam was as well. As soon as you took the cover off, it was just all over the place, the shape, and it was worse than you thought it was. Really, yes, yeah. So So
are we allowed to have a look underneath?
Oh yes, yeah.
So you've remade all this as well?
Yes, yeah.
Not just the trim, but
no, we redid the wood as well. So and then I put that on the bottom so that when the foam, because sometimes when it starts to degrade, the foam starts sort of shedding its load, doesn't it, underneath, and you just get covered in dust underneath.
Yeah. Particularly Ferrari Daytonas and things like that are particularly susceptible to that.
Yeah.
You've even had to put things underneath to stop
them. I know, yeah.
Like a catch tray.
It is like that. So, so it's...
And these are funny joints.
Yes, I know, you've got this. So you've got that, you've got... what you've got here is, you've got that panel, that piping, and this panel, and then this piping, and that. And so you've got, at this point, you've got 7 pieces of leather all coming into one. So when I was doing that to get that angle, it's even on the original before I started it, I thought that point is dangerous. So to do that, it was so thick, we had to put it in the vise and squash the leather so that it would so that the sewing allowance, which you don't see, was squashed.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have to back the piping out, so the piping has to stop about there.
Oh, I see.
So that you can get it in, but you still got. So you've got 1, 2 from the piping, 3, 4. There was 2 panels, 5, 6, 7 pieces of leather all come into one.
Right. And this was how they were made originally?
Yes, yeah,
presumably?
that's it, yeah.
Right. Wow.
That's,
Amazing.
yes, so that area is,
And this,
it's a crazy area.
Well, this would be
That's nice.
Aston Martin craftsmen.
Yes,
Simple
yeah.
as that. Or crafts ladies.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Incredible. And it's got this beautiful cutout here as well.
Yes, yeah. So that bit, so the the flutes come to there and then they stop.
Yeah.
And then you've got this, and then you've got this separate panel. It might look like a flute, but it's a separate panel that's sewn in. So this bit is flapping, and this bit here is flapping as well. So you've got more to go around. I might be explaining myself quite poorly, but yeah, so that can go into there, and then this bit can go into there. Because if it was all flutes, you wouldn't be able to get into that angle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, 50% of this is going over my head, but that's nothing new there.
It's just, yeah. It's such a difficult shape because it's sort of straight there, and then this one goes in, and then it goes up at that angle. It's just, it might look quite
it's
quaint, but it's just
very
just,
complicated.
I know.
It? Very
yes,
complicated. No, that looks amazing. Thank you very much. It's time again to look at the Mercedes 600. The absolute top of the Mercedes range between 1963 and 1971. This was a stratospherically expensive car when it was new. Far more expensive than a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, for example. And I think it was up there with a Phantom 6 or thereabouts. Anyway, it's the bad boys, villains, mafia staff car, whatever you want, to film stars. This car has been, as a model, has been in so many movies in the background or for people of importance moving from one place to another. But technically, the car is very, very complicated. We've got the car driving, and we're looking at the rear axle because it had a terrible clonking, banging noise from the axle when you went over anything resembling a bump. It sounded like the shock absorber was about to come through the floor of the car. Fortunately, that's not the case. But this car has been in Australia. It's an original right-hand drive car. A lot of 600 right-hand drive cars actually made it to Australia when they were new. It was quite a lucrative market for Mercedes. And this car is no exception. This started life in Australia. We're fixing it for a gentleman in the Far East. The back axle, we can't find anything obvious with the back axle that's going to cause the knock. So we're actually going to take the whole axle assembly, drop that entire axle assembly off the car and have a look at what's going on. It's what's called a Mercedes low pivot swing axle, which I'm going to go into more detail in a minute. But like everything else on the car, it was extremely highly engineered, probably too much so, dare I say it. But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself, so let's delve into the Mercedes-Benz 600, the Grand Mercedes rear axle. Here we have the rear axle. This is the differential. Drive shafts out to the rear wheels there. This is towards the front of the car. This is the suspension airbag here, which, I mean, not many cars had air suspension in the 1960s for a smooth ride handling compromise, but this was one of them. The real problem is in this part here, which goes on there. There is a great big rubber bellows, which is rather past its sell-by date anyway, and that goes on here, and that plugs into there. But this is the drive shaft. This is one of the problem areas. It's actually worn on the end there. But we think the clonk is coming from inside here, and it is the most fearsomely complicated system. It's got a series of tiny needle roller bearings in there. So I think we're going to, with the owner's permission, going to send this axle off to a specialist in Germany who does nothing but rebuild mechanical components on 600s. There's something seriously wrong with this. You can't possibly drive it the way it was sounding. So off to Germany, I believe this will go. But it's massively engineered. This is a unique axle for the Mercedes 600. The Pullman version, the long wheelbase version, so beloved of heads of state, presidents, etc., was 3.5 tons. So This, they only used the one design, whether it was the short wheelbase car, like the one we have here, or the much longer Pullman. It was only the one rear axle design, so it had to be very sturdily built, and it was certainly that. So yeah, we're going to be just following this particular story and see where we get. Other than that, the car is beginning to actually function rather well, but we have got to get this back axle sorted out. Well, that concludes another Tyrrell's Classic Workshop. Please remember to subscribe and like. It is important, and we'll be back with something else very soon.